The Lions just announced that they are re-signing wide receiver Tim Patrick.
Hey, I'll take it.
Bringing Tim Patrick back to the fold.
That's a good move.
Super Bowl.
Does that move the needle, Terry?
Nah, not quite. It's cute. I like it.
Yeah, it's a good signing.
I'll tell you what I would do. I don't mind the fact that the Lions haven't signed a big-time pass rusher. Here's what I do. I'd bring back the whole gang, but I would also re-sign Zadarius
Smith. Yeah.
I think if they do that, they'll be fine.
I'm not worried about it. It's really weird. Again, and you guys saw, we put out some of the clips from yesterday, and simultaneously you have people going, well, who's saying this? And like I wanted to say, well, if you look on this thread, you could see a lot of people, he hasn't done anything. Right. Why are we sitting on our hands? We got a pretty good group as it is, and I'll say the same thing that I said yesterday. Oh, by the way, there's this thing called the draft coming up, and then you could sign guys in June, and then you're never going to believe this. There are guys that come available even after camp.
Yeah, that's true.
Right. There are cap casualties and camp casualties. It's going to be okay.
We are still just at the beginning of this thing, and I know it seems like with all the news from free agency that we got, it was like crazy, but we're still at the beginning. Brad has a plan. He ain't just passing up names for no reason.
You know what happens in this league? When you sign that big name, gotta have it guy for $30 million, he comes in, it's usually bad. It's like, damn.
Or he gets hurt or something. Yeah.
Huh?
Or he gets hurt or something.
Yeah, or he gets hurt. No, I don't want anybody 29, 30, 31 years old that's always getting injured. Because he's going to get injured on your team, too. So I'm not upset that the Lions haven't jumped into this free agency thing yet.
I don't mind the low risk, high reward type of contracts. A lot of times why do you want to go after that guy? Why do you want to go after that guy? And you have to think about it from a logical standpoint, okay? Whether it be a guy who's, as you said, 32 years old, or there's a lot of tread, whatever the case may be. I'm always like, okay, what did we really lose in this? And with me, a lot of times things go back to hockey. People losing their mind over the Patrick Kane, the Patrick Kane contract, made no sense to me. Okay, cool.
Right.
You're right. Nobody comes back from this hip surgery. Nobody. He is going to be awful. It's going to be a complete disaster. Okay, what did you lose? What did you lose? You didn't give up anything up. It was a very low contract with again potential high reward. So contracts like that, I don't understand why people lose their shit over that. Why the hell did we sign KG? Oh my gosh, that dude's best days are behind him.
Damn, it's like that.
Dig a little deeper. Like what? You didn't give up anything for him. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. Later.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
right?
for the salary, what if he just became a good role player?
Right.
You're still better off than you were before.
Yep. I got a little depth here. And God forbid, I don't know, you have 521 injuries like last year. This is a guy that at least can come in and give you a little something, and one less thing that you have to worry about. But
it's a little PTSD from Lions fans, because once I've said this before,
100%.
We're not used to getting players of the elite caliber to just come through our doors. And now with the Lions being in the situation that they're in, being Super Bowl or bust, we are clamoring for anything, and we're not used to getting the big names here, and that seems to, be a continuing trend with Brad in there. But he's making smart moves. It ain't like he's just signing scrubs like previous regimes was. He's making strategic moves for a reason, and that's why you got to give him the cachet and relax a little bit, because he hasn't steered us wrong to this point. He's built that equity.
And shout out to Byrne in the super chat. He says, shout out to the Chicago Bears on their offseason champion three-peat. 7-10 in 2023, 5-12 in 2024, going in the right direction.
Yeah.
That was, honestly, that was one of the strangest things. I vividly remember doing shows with you guys in the summer and hearing people talk about the Bears. And I'm like, Terry, did I miss something?
Yeah, I know.
What
Dude,
the fuck?
I was in Chicago last summer, and I went to the bookstore, and I was getting magazines and stuff. I must have had a Detroit something on. This guy says, "Oh, you're from Detroit?" I said, "Yeah." He says, "Your Lions are not going to do well this season." I said, "Dude, what are you talking about?" He's a Bears fan. He told me how the Bears are going to be great, and it's a good team and all this kind of crap. I'm like, come on, dude, get out of here.
It is
On paper is a motherfucker. It always is.
It's amazing.
They weren't even good on paper.
Yeah, I thought they looked good on paper too, but I wasn't one of the people saying, "Oh, they're going to the playoffs or going to the Super Bowl." There was actually people saying that they were a Super Bowl contender,
Dude,
which
I'm
is
telling.
crazy.
I've said this for years. The Hard Knocks kiss is the fakest kiss in the history of kisses. It is. It is made for television. I say it. I'm not saying that it isn't a good thing or anything like that.
I think, you know what? I was watching. I said, I actually like these guys. I like the Chicago Bears.
Yeah,
That's it. That's what
how
they
they
do.
get you.
That's what the
Right.
show is. The show wants to suck you in. It's not training camp. It's something completely different. We got to get into the Pistons. We're going to get into more Lions. Some comments from DJ Reed, Roy Lopez. I get it. For a lot of people, not all people, for a lot of people, you want this moved, okay? And unfortunately, the people that want that big brash move are going to be vocal right now. Yes, we all want the same thing. We want a Super Bowl or bust, period. That's where we're at. And now I'm so glad, Spenny, more people are on our side, because I said that a year ago and people lost their shit. Oh, what are you talking about? Anything less than a Super Bowl is a failure. That's where we're at right now. That's where we're at. I'd rather be here, to be honest with you. And a lot of that happened with the Lions, whether we want to admit it or not, the last couple of years, and the whole SOL thing.
Yeah.
Which is still such a pathetic statement to make. Put it to bed once and for all, because nobody in our lives watched the Lions win back-to-back divisions. Nobody in our lives watched the Lions win 2 playoff games in the span of a week. Like put it to bed. Think of something else, right? If you're one of those
you can't
guys,
put it to bed if they lose the first playoff game next season. You're gonna hear a lot of same old Lions.
yeah. it's
I
gonna come
don't
back.
know how you can with this group, though, T.
Because if they lose in the first round of the playoffs, what the fuck? That's what they do.
But
in
same
the past.
same old Lions ain't necessarily the team. It's organizational. That's what I compare to
that's the
same
way
old
I
Lions.
look at it.
The reason why that became a thing is because, yeah, the Lions, they had some good players. They've always had good players, but we knew that the organization was not going to, 1, do right by the players, and 2, not keep a team together long enough to even have any type of success. We all knew that Willie Clay, he didn't really give a fuck about the team. He was just trying to sell tickets and give jobs to his friends. That's same old Lions, at least to me. Some people correlate that with some of the, unbelievable losses that we've seen, and I can't blame you for that. But overall, SOL is a structural thing, and that is not the case anymore.
But even if you go by results like Terry did, in my lifetime, I watched the Lions make the playoffs 1 time 3 years in a row. 1 time, 93, 94, 95, okay? And of course, they went 0-3 during that time. Now, I'll wait. I can't believe you even spoken into existence. But I'll wait. If they do that, if they flame out in the first round, maybe we can think of something else to say. But God forbid you win the division 3 years in a row, which they didn't back in the 90s. It was 2 wild card and a division. But you got a couple wins out of it. You have a base that you're like, okay, this is good moving forward. I don't know, Terry, it's something else.
Okay,
isn't it?
you're making a huge mistake right now.
All right.
You're assuming that a lot of people out there are not simpletons.
Well,
That's a
They're
fact.
going to scream same old lines
You're
if they
right.
lose the first round playoff game
You're right.
or don't make the playoffs.
Don't
Kenny
say
and
that.
KG is
Oh my gosh,
absolutely
don't you dare
correct.
say that.
But once again, you're not putting into account that a lot of people are simpletons out there.
That is true.
They need something
Can't
fast.
account for
They
them.
need something quick. They need something.
You
It's like
seeing it
fast
now
food.
with the debates over free agency and is he doing enough? And
No.
and like I said, people kind of take for granted that this was a 15-win team, even with all the injuries that they had. I understand it didn't end how we needed it to end, but at the same time, I can't blame Brad for thinking, okay, we're right there. We just need to make some subtle moves because they were right there. They were.
your best moves are getting your guys back, right? I mean,
That is
honestly,
true. And
those
I'd
are your best
re-sign
moves.
Smith too.
Yeah.
Because we haven't seen him in a training camp with the Detroit Lions.
That's a fact.
We haven't seen him out there for week 1, week 2, week 3, being acclimated with his team. We haven't seen him say, I'm a Detroit Lion because I've got all this experience with these guys. These are my boys. He just kind of came in the middle of the ride.
You know what, Spenny, you brought up a great point. And Terry, I think this goes hand in hand with what you just said. Spenny, you brought up a great point about the offensive line. I'm somebody, they need an interior lineman. They do. Period. End of story. I've said it once. I've said it 10,000 times. I feel a lot better about rolling with said rookie interior lineman because of who is on each side of him. You know what I'm saying? You got one stud on the other side, and you have still one of the best centers in the league on the other. And Terry, I think that same thing could be said about the defensive line. When you have the pieces that we already have here, and I'm not insinuating in any way, shape, or form, they don't need to add depth. In fact, I'll say D lineman and edge. But if you have, how much better is Zadarius Smith with that defensive line the way it was intended to be?
Right.
I think he looks damn good.
What did we say when they traded for him? Oh, wait until they get him and Hutch on the same field at the same time.
Yep. Yeah.
Now you're not going to do it? Come on now. They'll bring him back.
We lived in an era where I watched guys, no disrespect to Uncle Cliffy Averill, guys feasted off of Ndamukong Suh. They feasted off of him being double and triple team. And that's what I'm looking for right now. And the same thing can be said. Well, do you really, don't we have to go get a gnome? Well, yes, in a perfect world, I'd love one of the big names. But what do you think a rookie might get in this league when you have Aiden Hutchinson over on the other side drawing the kind of attention he gets? What kind of opportunities for him to put his little bib on and grab his fork and knife and eat is he going to get because of all the attention that is paid to Aiden Hutchinson? To me, Terry, and I thought about that, Spenny, based on what you said and you bringing up Zadarius, because it's like, yeah, I get it. What was he the impact that we all thought? Nah, he wasn't. I don't think he was as bad as people thought, but it wasn't, the world. What's going to happen now that all these cats are back? That's what I'm looking at.
And plus, you were asking him to be the dude last year. Right. Now, this year, if they bring him back, you ask him to be the helper.
Be a guy.
Right.
Yep.
It's a big difference.
Be a guy, no doubt. All right, when we come back, DJ Reed, I'm sure you've seen all the breakdowns. PFF did a good compare and contrast between him and Carlton. And quite frankly, if you buy into that stuff, I don't know why you wouldn't. The line's got the better of the two and the better contract of the two. Period. That's not an opinion, man. If you buy into that stuff, and you look at the numbers, they got the better of the two. I don't think, no diss to Carlton. I'm not one of those guys, T, when guys leave the town, all of a sudden it's time to bash on them. Darn good player. I'd rather have him, but you know what? I'd rather have DJ Reed in this contract, too. I really